Module 2, building trust fast. Here's the truth that most salespeople never realize. People don't buy the best offer. They buy the people they trust the most. And in high ticket sales, you don't have months to build up that trust. You've got minutes, sometimes even only seconds. So in this lesson, we're going to teach you how to build trust fast, not fake, no fluff, not forced, but real trust that makes people want to move the deal forward and say yes because they feel safe with you. Why trust matters. Think about this. Think about the last time you bought something like real big. Maybe it was a laptop, maybe it was a program, maybe it was a car. You didn't just buy the product, you bought confidence in the product and you bought certainty in that product. And guarantee the same thing happens in sales. Prospects are asking themselves the same question, one question every single time. Can I trust this person to lead me in the right direction? That's why as a closer, your tone, your pace, and your energy really plays a big part more than your script. At the end of the day, people can feel when they're in good hands. So step 1, match energy, not personality. Most amateurs, the mistake that they make is thinking that building rapport means mirroring everything that prospect does. And that's not the case. You don't have to have any fake laughs. You don't have to copy their slang. But what you do is you do meet them where they're at emotionally. That's the big difference. That is what turns an amateur into a professional. If they're calm, you be calm. If they're excited, you match their enthusiasm. So what this means is, and what you can remember in your mind, is that matching someone's energy tells that person's subconscious, wow, this person gets me. And that is the first seed of trust. Step 2, lead with honesty. During your call, if something isn't a good fit, go ahead and say it. You're going to be surprised at how much trust that builds up in a conversation when you take your product or service away from them. What they start doing in their head is trying to convince themselves of why it is a good fit, why your product or service is a good fit. But the main point is it is all about leading with honesty, though. And if that prospect feels like, I need your product, they're going to find out reasons, they're going to sell themselves. But at the end of the day, it's all about being honest, because if it's not a good fit, it's not. And what happens if you sell something that isn't a good fit for somebody in the world of commissions is they can actually return that and then you get charged back. So where you have to give back that commission if you earned a commission, but they return an item, that has happened. But that's all about leading with the proper service, being honest. If this is a product that's going to work for this person, if they're going to be getting the results that you had taught to them about getting. This is actually a sales technique, and it's called a takeaway. Prospects and clients, they're used to like the pushy salesman type. They always sound desperate. We call it a commission breath, where you start selling rather than helping. So clients are used to getting sold to. But if you step in there and you sound like a leader, when you say, hey, you know what? I don't know if this is a great fit for you, their guard is going to drop instantly. Remember this, honesty doesn't lose deals. What it does is it filters out the wrong people and attracts the right ones. Step 3, listen like a surgeon. So when you're in the position of you are going to be helping somebody, what it means to listen like a surgeon is you are going to be listening very intensely, as if you're a doctor writing down notes. You're going to have your notepad, right? And you're going to be taking notes. What you're doing is diagnosing, okay? You're not just waiting patiently and politely so you can get your next question in. You want to make sure you're listening. The more hums you do, the more nods you do, the more you say, okay, I understand. The more you talk is the less time the prospect is talking. And in a conversation with a prospect, you want them to be doing at least 50+% of the conversational talking. Okay, because you just want to ask them questions because you need to diagnose what they're going through, where they're currently at, how they felt before, what they're trying to feel like in the future, and what's stopping them from getting there. So you're diagnosing that problem. And your main goal while you're diagnosing this, just like a surgeon, is to write down the notes. The notes that you're going to want to take, I would make a little template. And what that could be is, where are they currently at in life? Where are they looking to get to? How long they've been feeling this way? You got to understand what circumstances are they going through that's making them want to change? Why now versus the past decades of their life are they looking at change now? Whatever that is, whether it's in their business, whether it's in their personal lives, whatever offer you're on, okay? The thing about it is, when somebody feels heard, they feel relaxed. And when they're relaxed, they open up. And ladies and gentlemen, that's when the real connection happens. Step 4, the trust triangle. In the closer community, something that I used to teach some of our team was the trust triangle. Now, what is the trust triangle? It has 3 points, right? Just like a triangle. There's certainty, competence, and care. Certainty, number one. You sound like you know what you're doing. That's the first thing that the prospect is going to want to know, is that you sound like you know what you're doing. Number two is going to be competence. Can you completely explain and clearly explain what you do to your prospect? And the third point of the triangle is going to be care. That's going to be where the client, the prospect actually genuinely knows that you care about them and not just trying to catch a check. If one of these 3 points are missing out of the trust triangle, there isn't going to be a deal, and trust is broken. That trust triangle is broken. But when all three of those are there, certainty, competence, and care, that's when the real magic happens. And you become magnetic. Step 5, speak human, not corporate. When it comes to this portion, you don't have to overcomplicate things. Go get rid of the jargon, get rid of the buzzwords, skip the script voice, all of that. One thing we also have to work on is also not using the yes sir, yes ma'am, no sir, no ma'am language, because that actually, you actually start losing your position of authority. But we'll get in more to that, because it's a psychological factor that's going to possibly lose you deals and going to make the prospect feel like they're up here and you down here, rather than you seeming like the expert that has something for them to help. But just think about that, okay? But that's something that we're going to have to talk about more, and we go over more like in the master class. Talk like a real person, because trust is built off of human to human contact. When you're relaxed and clear, they feel safe. And when people feel safe, they buy. Here's some quick lines that build instant trust. Yeah, let's go ahead and figure out if this is even a right fit for you first. That's number one. I don't want to sell you something that's actually not going to really help you. If it's not right for you, no worries, I'll let you know. Simple phrases like this, it really helps the prospect move forward and gets their guard down. So now they can take an exhale and know that this is not a trap. And that's powerful. Okay, guys, so remember this. Remember this, okay? Trust is your currency in sales. You can have the best script in the world, but if they don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. So remember, guys, match energy, lead with honesty, listen deeply, hit the trust triangle, and speak human. When you master these, you'll never have to convince anyone again. They'll feel it, and when they feel it, they'll follow your lead. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you build trust fast. Let's get to work.